And welcome back, rugby fans, to Rugby411. As always, I'm your host. My name is Joshua Shibata, and I'm kind of going back to the old school look. I've always been very partial to this USA Rugby's jersey from, I believe this was just a year ago, maybe in 2022 or 2021. It didn't last very long with Cadbury, but I am a big fan of this design. Kind of wish it stuck around a little bit longer. So just because really this doesn't have any association too much with USA Rugby, though they are represented in this tournament, but just decided to do something a little bit different. Let me know if you like this jersey, or go to some of my other videos where I have the current, or technically now I don't even think that's the current USA jersey. I think they just changed it as well. Haven't been able to buy a new one, but similar style. But either way, I digress. This video, it is Rugby 7 season right now, even though the HSBC series just finished back in May. We are approaching one of the biggest Rugby 7s tournament in the United States. It is the RugbyTown Sevens, and this is the 2023 edition preview. I previewed last RugbyTown Sevens tournament, which was so much fun. I highly recommend you guys watch it. The beauty is you can watch every game absolutely free on the RugbyTown USA website, rugbytownusa.com. Every game will be shown there and then later archived, so you can watch at your own pleasure. It's going to be a long 3 days of action. The action kicks off this Friday, August 25th, all the way through Sunday the 27th. First game kickoff, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. As I mentioned before, it is a lot of fun. We will preview the entire tournament. Yeah, so let's get to it. So, the beauty of RugbyTown Sevens is there's a lot of teams in this competition. 20 teams representing 11 different countries around the world. 17 of these teams participated in last year's tournament. We have 3 new ones coming in. A lot of really big talent, including the returns of the defending reigning champions, the Rambling Jesters. The semifinalists of the tournament last year, the USA's own under-23s team. Also returning is the two-time Rugby Club Sevens tournament champions, the NAV Sevens. So a lot of big talent. You have Germany's actual national sevens team in this. You have Israel's Tel Aviv Heat, the very first Rugby Sevens professional team representing Israel in this tournament. They're making their appearance after their debut last season. It is a lot of talent, and I highly recommend. A who's who got their start in RugbyTown. This is, like I said, the 11th version. Has been around for a while. Former Eagles, current Eagle players participate in this tournament and made their Rugby Sevens debuts, including, of course, the man himself, Perry Baker, Martin Iosefo, former USA Eagles captain Madison Hughes, and 2 of those 3 are in this tournament as we speak. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great talent, a lot of young talent, a lot of international talent. All of them playing in Denver, Colorado at the world-famous Infinity Park. Tickets are still on sale, I believe. It is a beautiful venue, by the way. If you've never been to Infinity Park, I haven't, but the way it looks, it is the first rugby-specific field created in the United States. Number 2 is, of course, the SaberCat Stadium. It is the first one in Denver, Colorado. It is a beautiful stadium. It's definitely an awesome tournament. So let's go over this. 4 pools, like I said, 20 teams, 4 teams a pool. What's also really cool about this RugbyTown tournament is there is one pool specifically aimed towards the U.S. Military branches, the armed forces, because rugby is a huge part of the military community. So 5 teams representing the different armed branches of the U.S. military. They've been competing in this tournament since year 1. They have their own little competition where they are competing with all the other teams, but amongst themselves, they will crown their own armed forces champion. I'll introduce and preview each of the teams. You have the U.S. Coast Guard. You have the U.S. Navy, who were the 2021 RugbyTown Sevens champions, the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Marines, and then, of course, the big bad U.S. Army, who are the current reigning defending champions. They knocked off the Navy team last season to claim the throne once again. They are the eight-time Armed Forces champions. 8 out of 10 tournaments. That's very, very impressive. Can they make it a number 9 this season? All signs are pointing to probably. So that's pool number 8. Like I said, they will compete to be in the overall RugbyTown USA tournament, and then they also will crown their own. Whichever team has the best overall record amongst those teams, they will be crowned the U.S. Armed Forces champion. Like I said, Army is the reigning champion as well as the 8-time champion. 8 out of 10 teams. 10 years of this tournament. So pretty dominant. Now, the other 3 pools. We'll start with pool letter B. You have the Casanovas, the Lion Sevens, new team coming in, Speranza Sevens. Like I mentioned before, the very first Rugby Sevens pro team representing Tel Aviv, Israel, Tel Aviv Heat, and then the Tsunami Barbarians. And I'll go a little bit more detail on what a Barbarian team is. But let's start from the very top. The Casanovas, just created last year, co-founded by Houston SaberCats player Nick Boyer, led by head coach Ryan Matias, who is a San Diego Legion player, a recently retired USA Eagles. They are a kind of a barbarian style team as well. Barbarian basically is a concept that's pretty prevalent in rugby, formed out of players. It's almost like a free agency. It's an invite. You find players from all over the world that you scout, you believe can fit into this team. You kind of try to pick the best of the best, and it's almost like mercenaries, but they're called barbarians, and you just form them together into one team. You're not officially part of the team where you have to stay with the team, but you can play with the team when you're invited. You could always come back. There is an actual Barbarians team that is based in the world that will play yearly amongst all the other teams. They'll challenge the Japan national team. They'll challenge the England team, and they're formed out of some of the best players from all around the world put together. It's almost like an all-star team. But like I said, almost like a mercenaries for hire kind of team, but they're called Barbarians. Been around for quite a few decades, and it is a true honor to be given a Barbarian jersey. So these, some of these Rugby Sevens teams are in that Barbarian style, where it's an invite only, composed of a lot of players from not only in the United States, but all over the world. The Casanovas is like that as well. What's really big about the Casanovas is that they are also brought together in honor of Cal rugby player Robert Paylor, who unfortunately in 2017 suffered a very severe spinal injury, was basically told he could never walk or play rugby again. Fortunately, he was able to walk on stage to get his diploma graduating from Cal Berkeley, and that's all thanks to research by the Craig Neural Rehab Hospital of Denver. So this Casanovas team plays in support of that hospital and research in honor of Robert Paylor. All proceeds that they raise will go towards this foundation. And by the way, guys, in this tournament for RugbyTown USA, the winning team, not only do they get bragging rights, but they also get $10,000. So a good portion of that money will go towards the Craig Neural Rehab Hospital of Denver. If you go to the Casanovas website or their Instagram page, you can see all about the details. And if you want to make a donation as well, you can do that as well. So the Casanovas, last year, in their very first year in RugbyTown USA, they placed 5th. They won the plate, which is pretty damn impressive for a first-time team. Moving down, the Lion 7 is a sevens club based out of the United Kingdom. Last year, they made their debut here in RugbyTown. They placed 9th. They were actually the bowl winners. So also a very impressive first debut in RugbyTown USA. Then you have Speranza 7. Now the Speranza 7s, this is one of the new boys on the block here. Established in 2013, they just celebrated their 10-year anniversary, and they were actually brought together also too in memory of a rugby player. Unfortunately, this rugby player, Mario Speranza, unfortunately passed away at the very young age of 20 years old. He was a well-loved rugby player in the United Kingdom. And so Speranza 7 was created in honor of him. It is, again, a very much a barbarian-style team. You're invited. You're given the honor of suiting up for Speranza 7. And like I said, they've been around for now a decade. They will be celebrating their 10-year anniversary, their first time invited to RugbyTown, USA. So it's going to be a really big mark for those boys on this team. Then, of course, as I mentioned before, Tel Aviv Heat, the very first pro rugby team based out of Tel Aviv, Israel, established back in 2021. They made their debut last year. They finished 6th place, lost in the plate final to the Casanovas. So they're now in the same pool this year. A lot of bad blood on that one because it was an exciting game. It actually came down to overtime. The Casanovas were able to pull off the win to win the plate. And then last but not least, you have the Tsunami Barbarians, based out of Toronto. 7 different countries, players on the team representing 7 different countries, established in 2018. They are co-founded by the Tsunami Sports Company, which is an eco-friendly rugby company. They placed 4th place last season, losing to NAV 7s, who got the bronze medal in the RugbyTown USA competition. So, Pool B, man, you have the Casanovas, who finished 5th place last year. You have the Lion 7s, who finished 9th place last year. You have the Tel Aviv Heat, who lost to Casanovas, finishing 6th place. And then you have the Tsunami Barbarians that finished 4th place. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 9th, all in one pool. And then you got the new guys, Speranza 7s. Man, they got their work cut out for them. Pool B is looking very much like the pool of death in this competition. Moving over to Pool C, you have the Denver Sevens, you have the Gorillas Rugby, you have your reigning defending champions, the Rambling Jesters, also the 2-time RugbyTown 7 champions, SoCal Griffins, and then Germany's own actual Sevens national team coming in to make a repeat appearance here in RugbyTown, USA. Let's start with the Denver Sevens. Denver Sevens based out of Denver, Colorado, so they will be technically the hometown team, also supported by USA Rugby. Again, lots of USA Eagles have suited up for Denver Sevens here in RugbyTown, USA, including the before-mentioned Martin Iosefo, Ben Pinkelman, who just made his return to the USA Eagles for the Olympic qualifier, which, by the way, congratulations to USA. You guys are going to the Olympics in France in 2024, pulling off a very close victory over Canada, securing their spot in the Olympics. And then, of course, current USA Eagles Sevens captain Kayvon Williams and Cody Melfi as well. The Denver Sevens are 2-time champions. They won RugbyTown USA back in 2015 and 16. Gorilla Rugby, based in Texas, another barbarian-style team, but they are a little bit more college-focused. Most of their players are under the age of 20, all current college players, pulling from schools from all over Texas as well as all over the country, including Lindenwood, Life University, Texas A&M, and Sam Houston University. So a very young team, but a great chance for a lot of young college rugby players to get their feet wet in the Rugby Sevens environment, which is a lot of fun, but is a completely different. If you've ever, any rugby player will tell you, Sevens rugby, completely different animal than regular 15s. You have to get experience in both of them to become a good player at both. And Gorillas Rugby allows young college players to do that because they focus specifically on the college circuit. Then you have, as I mentioned before, the reigning defending 2-time RugbyTown USA champions, the Rambling Jesters, won in 2019 and 2022. Technically, there was no 2021 tournament. They are based in London, and they have a stacked team once again this year. Returning players including Nick Feeks, who is, of course, a New York rugby ironworker. Rhodes Featherstone. If you did not watch this year's Premiership Sevens Rugby, you missed out on the debut of Rhodes Featherstone, a very young New Zealand player. The dude is huge, but moves like a cheetah. Impressive head of hair. He is going to be suiting up for the Rambling Jesters, really increasing their chances of possibly repeating as champions. Then Aaron Cummings and Marcus Tupuola, two current USA Eagles, are on the team. And then Chan Barry, a former UCLA Bruins and now currently with the Dallas Jackals. So the Rambling Jesters coming back with another studded team, could possibly repeat as champions and become the three-time RugbyTown USA champions. And then SoCal Griffins, one of the oldest rugby clubs, actually established here in Southern California in 1937 by, get this, if you are a horror movie buff, by the great Boris Karloff, who, if you don't know, was the original Dracula in the black and white film back in the 1930s. He was a huge rugby player. 1937, he established the SoCal Griffins Rugby Club in Southern California, and they've been around ever since. They have a Rugby Sevens team that has been participating in this tournament. Lots of former USA Eagles have played on this team as well, including Mikey Teo, Big Joey Taufuete. Last year, they came in 2021, they came in second place. And in this last year, they came in 10th, unfortunately, losing to the Lions in the Bowl finals. And then finally, you have Germany's own actual national sevens team. Man, Germany Sevens, they are an exciting, hard-hitting team. Unfortunately, they've been kind of coming up short in a lot of big tournaments. They came up short in this year's Challenger Series in order to earn a spot in the HSBC 7 Series. They did a pretty good appearance last year as they lost in the Shield finals. But, you know, they were given another shot today. They are a very tough team, could give anybody a run for their money. They are going to be in a very tough division, though, again, with Denver Sevens and the Rambling Jesters and the SoCal Griffins. Pool C is going to be a tough pool as well. And finally, we have Pool D. Again, another rough pool. There are no easy pools in this tournament, guys. Pool D has your Akuma Cannibals, another new team, Infantry Rugby, based out of London. The Nav Sevens, who are your two-time reigning, defending Rugby Club Sevens champions. The USA Under-23 team, and then another newbie team, the Wild Dogs. Let's go over this. So the Akuma Cannibals, found in 2010, based in Salt Lake City. They are partnered with a rugby company based in the United Kingdom called Coventry. They have former players that have played on this team, include Bailey Wilson, Chad Go, who are both current Utah Warriors. Right now, their team has bolstered by Danny Christensen, who is, you can't miss him. He is sometimes nicknamed the Mustachioed Magician. He has an impressive mustache, if I do say so myself. He was a former Utah Warrior and now currently a Dallas Jackal. He also played in the Texas team in the PR7s. Danny Christensen, an impressive player, will hopefully lead the Akuma Cannibals to great heights in this tournament. Infantry Rugby, like I said, one of three new teams introduced in this season's RugbyTown Sevens tournament, founded in 1906. They are the British Army's, basically, the British Army Sevens. So we have a real big flair of the U.S. Armed Forces, and now we have representatives of the British Army in Infantry Rugby. Head coach is Junior Bulumaku, who used to play for the Scottish Sevens. Then you have the NAV Sevens, the National Athletic Village Sevens, your two-time Rugby Clubs champions here in the United States. Rugby Club tournament is, again, another big USA Sevens tournament. NAV Sevens has now won that tournament 2 times in a row. They ended in 3rd place last season, just losing out to eventual winners, the Rambling Jesters. So, you know, NAV Sevens will definitely be trying to vie for the championship this year. They have some impressive players in this season. Corey Jones, who, if you don't know Corey Jones, you've never seen USA Sevens rugby, because he is always on a team in every tournament. I believe he was with the Rhinos team that won this year's LA Invitational at the HSBC USA stop earlier this year in LA. They also have Jeremy the Missile Misigala. They have former USA Eagles captain Madison Hughes. That's a big get. former USA Eagles Martin Iosefa, who's now playing with the Seattle Seawolves, and also a current USA Eagles Naima Fa'alau, who is also going to be playing with the Nav Sevens. So the Nav Sevens, they finished last year 3rd place. They are definitely trying to gun for that championship spot with the inclusion of Madison Hughes, Martin Iosefa. I mean, God, that is a strong, strong team. And then you have the USA under-23 team. They were last year's 2nd place team, boasted with a bunch of up-and-coming, very impressive USA players, potential USA Eagles players. Some of them have been just recently drafted by MLR teams. So I feel this team might actually be a lot stronger than last year's team that finished just short of the championship, losing to the Rambling Jesters. The junior team for USA led by Ben Pinkelman, who, just like I said, returned to the USA Eagles team. Ben Pinkelman is the head of athletic development for the under-23. Head coach is Colton Curriaga. The lineup this year, like I said, a really, really impressive up-and-coming who's who of USA rugby players. Let's start with Oren Beiser. As I mentioned before, he is the younger brother of Maya Beiser, who just got drafted by the Houston SaberCats. We have Jake Brozell, who is the younger brother of Ben Brozell, who is a current USA Eagles Sevens player. And then we have the recent crowned Rudy Schultz winner. If you don't know what the Rudy Schultz Award is, it's basically the Heisman Trophy of college rugby, given to the best college rugby player every year. So the current winner is Lewis Gray, who, even though he's representing the USA Naval Academy, is going to suit up with the USA Under-23 team this season. Then you got some returning players, including Koana Koi, who's played with the Loonies as well as the LA Guiltinis back in MLR. Kahuna Koi is arguably considered one of the fastest men to ever lace up the boots on the pitch. He's always an impressive player to watch. Ryan Santos, who just recently got capped as an Eagles player when they went to Europe. And Tucker Trickey, another great player, made his mark in this recent PR7s tournament, playing for the Loggerheads, has a beautiful mullet. Noah Brown, who played for the Loonies in PR7s and then also just got drafted this year to the Chicago Hounds. And Will Chevalier, who has played for the USA Eagles as well as the Headliners and just recently got drafted by the New England Free Jacks. So again, a lot of players who have the potential to become stars in Major League Rugby. They just got drafted. You got some up-and-coming stars, including, of course, Rudy Schultz winner Lewis Gray, which will be interesting to see if Lewis Gray decides to go with the Rugby Sevens route or go to MLR. But again, this team, a lot of young talent, and I believe they have the potential to be even better than last year's team, as I mentioned, that finished 2nd place last year. Only thing is they have the Nav Sevens team that's in their same pool, so that's going to be a drag-em-out fight when that match happens. And then you have the last of the 3 new teams, the Wild Dogs, based in the United Kingdom in 2017, also representing South Africa. 20 different countries represented by the players on this team. They play by a motto of Ubuntu, which is a Zulu word, which translates to humanity, also translates to I am because you are, which is kind of a philosophy in the belief in a universal bond of sharing that connects all of humanity. So definitely a team about unity, despite whatever country you're from, despite whatever language you speak. The Wild Dogs is all about unity. The Wild Dogs is also associated with Rhinos Rugby, which, if you don't know Rhinos Rugby, it's an academy based out of San Clemente here in California, just a little south of Los Angeles, kind of in the middle between LA and San Diego. They have a lot of great talent. They've created a lot of young talent. A lot of their players play all over the world, including the Loggerheads team in PR7s. They're associated now with the Wild Dogs, so a couple of their players are playing for the Wild Dogs, including Brooke Gallagher, who played for the Loggerheads in PR7s, and Christian Dutoit as well. So the Wild Dogs are one of 3 new teams. They're definitely, again, going to have their work cut out for them because they're in the same pool as the USA Under-20s and the NAV 7s. So again, guys, we have this exciting tournament In this tournament, the top 2 teams from each pool will go into the final 8, duke it out for the top spot, as well as I mentioned before, $10,000. It is 3 days full of amazing, amazing Rugby Sevens action. And you guys know how much I love my Rugby Sevens. I feel if you are still hesitant about getting into rugby, the 15s rugby, I highly recommend you watch Sevens. Because I believe if you can get into Sevens, which is really, really easy, you'll easily get into Rugby 15s. Because Sevens is just so much fun to watch. It is a faster version of 15s, easier to understand the rules because there's less player on the field than the actual pitch itself. So it's very, very easy to follow. And again, the beauty of this RugbyTown tournament is you can watch it all live and later on demand if you go to RugbyTownUSA.com. Starting this Friday, August 25th, throughout the weekend, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is the first game's kickoff. Also, too, if you download the RugbyTown USA app, it's a beautiful app that will give you all the information on all the teams, when the matches are played, give you up-to-minute scores, plus, for my fans that love to play games, they have a Play the Pitch contest where basically you pick the top team out of each pool. However many points they accumulate will go into your point bank, and if you have the most points or a certain number of points by the end of the tournament, you can win some great prizes, including USA Eagles gear, tickets to American Raptor games. If you're in the area of Colorado, there's a Target gift card shopping spree you can get as well. So a lot of great stuff you can win just by playing the pitch. And it's absolutely free. You can do that through the RugbyTown USA app. I'm involved in it. I'm playing it. I don't want to give you guys which 4 teams I picked. A little hint, Army is definitely one of them. I'm into those games as well. It will be a lot of fun. So again, guys, this weekend, August 25th to the 27th, 11 a.m. is the first kickoff time. RugbyTownUSA.com. My man down in Stafford will be doing part of the commentary, and you know if down in Stafford is part of it, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. So that is the RugbyTown USA tournament. I highly recommend you guys check it out. As always, thank you very much for checking out my video, and I'll see you on the pitch.